84-78, the final. The Lobos knock off the Air Force Falcons in Dreamstyle Arena, the pit. UNM is now 12-0 in their home building in 2019-2020. What a start to the year in this legendary venue. Take the fast internet to the house with Xfinity X5. Stream the Lobos all season long on every in-home device, no matter where you watch. It's beyond Wi-Fi. It's X5, Xfinity, proud partner of the UNM Lobos. Okay, let's pause briefly. 10 seconds for station ID on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
This is New Mexico's #1 radio station, 96.3 News Radio, KKOB AM and FM, Albuquerque.
For the first time since 2005-2006, New Mexico begins its season in Dreamstyle Arena 12-0. That year, the Lobos dropped their 13th home game. So, a win in their next one, it would be the best start in their home venue in the Lobos' history in the Mountain West Conference. Pretty heady stuff. The team, with a victory here today, has improved to 15-3, 4-1 in conference play. We can give you a quick peek at what's going on elsewhere in the Mountain West right now. San Jose State fell at home to Colorado State. Rams 81, Spartans 70. And Wyoming with a 27-22 halftime lead on UNLV in Laramie. Nevada is at Utah State. That one just about to get started in Logan. And later, Boise State at 7th ranked and unbeaten and Mountain West leader San Diego State. That one at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. A big day in conference play. Lobos 84, Air Force 78. The final. Stay with us. Post-game festivities continue on the other side. We're on Albertson's Radio Row. You're listening to Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Lobos a winner over the Air Force Falcons in Dreamstyle Arena, the pit, 84-78 final. Check the back of every season ticket for a great deal at your local Arby's. Bring your coupon on the ticket into any Arby's store. Take advantage of this incredible offer, exclusive to Lobo season ticket holders. Arby's, we have the beats. 84-78, the final. The Lobos knock off the Air Force Falcons in Dreamstyle Arena, the pit. It's our privilege to welcome in a couple of fabulous guests here post-game. We have Lobo assistant coach Dan McHale. We have Corey Manigault, an outstanding Lobo post. Great to have you guys, and congratulations on a terrific win. Dan, it looked like a couple occasions there, Air Force got back in the game when it looked like New Mexico was going to pull away, and then the Lobos were able to keep them at bay. What were a couple of keys for you in those moments?
Yeah, no, I was proud of these guys. Air Force doesn't go away, but the way they shoot the basketball and put on their offense, and they kept getting Scotty in the post. Our guys really did a good job of not letting one mistake turn into two, and not getting, not hanging their heads. They had amnesia on defense. They gave them three, gave them the back door, came together. We got to stop this time.
This guy, the big fella, Corey Manigault, was huge for you. Had a tremendous first half and then closed the game beautifully as well. He did it on both ends of the floor. What did you see from him?
He played tremendous. He's obviously a very gifted offensive player, but defensively he's getting better and better as it goes on. He's starting to follow the scatter. Really, really proud of him. He's doing a great job. It's tough. He's guarding the four-man a lot tonight, and he kept getting backdoor, and he used his length really well. He came up with some big stops when we needed it.
He's starting to listen to Coach McHale there. Corey, congratulations, man. You had a really good game. It was a stat stuffer. I mean, you basically did everything there was on the floor. You got steals, you had blocks, rebounds, scoring. What was going on? I mean, you just got that pop in you.
Yeah, everybody just know we gifted offensively, and everybody gonna get theirs offensively. As long as we play defense, that's our coach let us do whatever we want on offense.
Yeah, no, you had a great game, and I like the effort.
Appreciate
you had 3 steals.
Thank you.
So, Corey, you've done a lot on the block for UNM. I think 5 or 6 games in a row now. Been a really big part on both ends of the floor. Has to feel pretty good for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But we just gotta keep it moving. We just gotta keep it going forward, and we just gotta. Everything just got to go. We got to play as a team. Same thing.
One of the things I noticed that you did a better job tonight was being under control. When you got the ball and you went to the basket, you kind of turned to the basket and didn't run over a defender, but kind of went around him or jump stop and knocked it down.
Yeah,
You've been conscious of doing that in practice, or
just something like he said, just reading the scout. And, they're taking charges, so we going off 2 and just taking our time with it.
Good job.
How much work have you guys put in with Corey on his footwork there as well? Because, man, it seems like they are looking for that travel on that first step for the post guys. They want to see if that pivot foot moves before that first dribble is taken.
That's something Corey and I talk about pretty much every day.
Yeah.
We watch a lot of film together. He's the first guy in my office after a game watching film. He's really, really worked hard, and I just think hasn't even reached his potential yet. He's just getting there right now. Give him another couple weeks under his belt, watching film, working on the floor with myself and the other coaches, and the sky's the limit.
Coach, I had a question. You do a lot of the defense, and you guys gave up 78 points tonight. Are you pleased with the amount of points you gave up?
Yeah, no, they're a very good offensive team. We know that. They're going to score. They're going to make threes. We had lapses. I look at it as 10-minute games, and there was a time we had them under 40% from the field, and that's what I was looking for mostly. I thought we did a very good job defending their action, holding them. A really good three-point shooting team. So 35% from three, 28% from three was terrific.
At one point, I really thought you guys made a great effort of cram in the middle, so that Air Force couldn't really get those back doors, and especially when you had the two bigs in with Corey and
that was a big part of the scout report. They're going to shoot a lot of threes, and the way they beat Utah State was they had 56 points in the paint. So obviously we made an emphasis on guarding the three, but we can't give up threes and layups, and we were able to take that away tonight.
There were 2 occasions tonight where your team had to come up big with Jaquan Lyle on the bench. There was a stretch there of about it was actually longer than that. It was over 6 minutes where Jaquan was on the bench with 4 fouls, and you guys extended a 5-point lead to 7. And then, of course, you had to close out the game, the last 3:45, I believe, without Jaquan. Talk about Zane Martin and the work that he did initiating your team's offense.
He was great. And to go back to Corey's point, it's been a team effort, and when you see different guys stepping up each game, Vance had been playing really well today. He just couldn't find a rhythm, and he was the loudest cheerleader on the bench. Zane's had an up and down season a little bit, and he really, really took charge today, took command of this team, and made some big time plays down the stretch.
Following up on Zane, the way that he's been able to get into the paint now without fouling, where early in the year, once they figured out, okay, Zane's a driver. He was running into offensive fouls, turnovers, things like that, and he added the jump stop, the 2-foot stop, but he's not just scoring now. He's doing all kinds of different things. What about his development and what you've seen?
Absolutely. Proud of him. We show him a lot of film. We show these guys a lot of film. We knew this was a charge-taking team. And Zane watched and knew when he goes in there. And teams know, his scouting report, they're playing him for that. I mean, you see the edits we put together on opposing teams. His edit is probably 4 or 5 charges in the lane. Yeah. And that's just the truth.
I noticed that you guys are getting better at that. And it seemed like Zane made a real good effort of trying to feed the post to Corey. I mean, as he penetrated, he was looking for Corey.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You guys pulled off a couple of nice big-to-bigs, too, as well, the high-lows, Corey. Yeah, tell us about those.
I'm used to playing with another big, so it's just like installed on me, just throwing it over top and just trying just being a bigger guy.
NBA 80s, right?
Hey, we got some Twin Towers now when Bragg and Manigault are out there together.
I love it.
That's beautiful. Corey, congratulations. Just
Appreciate
a fantastic effort tonight.
Thank you.
That's Corey Manigault. Coach McHale, way to go.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy your night.
All right.
Thanks.
Great stuff there. Dan McHale and Corey Manigault, Lobos 84, Air Force 78. New Mexico with a huge win over the visiting Falcons. The Lobos now 12-0 here at home, and New Mexico improves to 15-3 overall and 4-1 in league. Big afternoon in Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. Back with more after this. Coach Weir still to come. Lobos 84, Falcons 78. Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Inside Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. Lobos 84, Air Force 78. Happy to have you along on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Final segment post-game here from Albertsons Radio Row. Yep, Lobos 84, Air Force 78. New Mexico 12-0 in the Pit. Let's see, 15-3 now is the overall record, and 4-1 in conference. Our guest is Lobo head coach Paul Weir. Coach Weir, congratulations. And my first thought is, how did your team do it in 2 extended stretches there? Over 6 minutes there mid-second half, and then the final almost 4 minutes without Jaquan Lyle. Everybody contributed, and Zane Martin was great with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I think, just me, I don't know what time it was. It was just a few minutes ago because And I looked down our bench, and I saw Jaquan Lyle, and I saw Vance Jackson, and I thought, man, to go through a game and pull something like this out without those two guys, I think is huge for Zane's confidence, for McQuatch's confidence, for Corey's confidence. That, hey, like, we can do this too. We know Jaquan gets a lot of notoriety and attention. Obviously, Vance has gotten a lot lately, but these other guys are good basketball players too. And I thought they really responded tonight, and the depth of our kind of talent really kind of shone through when it needed to.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every game there's someone new stepping up. And tonight happened to be Corey Manigault. I mean, he was kind of the stat stuffer. He did a little bit of everything, steals and blocks, and was able to score. But one of my takeaways in watching both Martin and Manigault against Air Force, a disciplined team that packs it in defensively. And, of course, they're wanting to take charges where those guys were under control. They came in, they jumped up, especially Martin.
You're so right. We've been watching it for 3 days. Just I mean, they're great at it. They're terrific. They do it in transition. They do it in the half. They do it as you're bringing the ball up. And they take – it's no different than a team that fouls a lot. They take so many that – you've got to call some of them, whether they are, I mean, they're constantly taking them, and they're willing to take some of those blocks, so them stepping in on Jaquan all the time, it's a good probability for them. It's a good play for them. And I thought as the game went on, we got better. We put some guys in some different spots as well. First half, we had kind of Corey on the block. He traveled a few times, just wasn't a good. And then the second half, we just moved him around to some different areas, and I think that just opened it up for him a little bit. Once we kind of got some high-lows with Carlton, I think it just kind of gave him some better opportunities to score him down on the post, which is usually where he's terrific. They just collapsed on him too much. He just didn't get a good feel down there.
Yeah, I thought the offensive sets in the half court that started with the high post action there, either elbow. And before Jaquan fouled out, he was catching there. Then you had Bragg and Manigault catching on the elbows. Seems like you're getting a lot out of that.
Yeah, no, again, as the game unfolds, you just try and find some sweet spots. Their defense was really good. I thought to start the game especially, they were not letting us get in there. I mean, they just weren't. But I thought as the game unfolded and we spaced it, we got some drives, we got some good angles, and eventually it kind of opened up for us.
On the defensive end, I think I asked Coach McHale this earlier. You guys gave up 78 points. Are you comfortable with that against?
I actually thought until about the 3 or 4 minute mark, we played really good defense. I think there's probably I told him before the game, I know we're going to give up a backdoor, and I know we're going to give up a 3, so let's not go too far away. But we gave up probably a few too many backdoors that I would have liked. That was the idea. We really wanted to take away easy 2-point shots, easy layups, getting to the free throw line, etc. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that, and we were going to make them beat us with challenge contested threes. And I thought with about 3 minutes to go or so, and it happens no matter what you try and do as a coach, players get into a prevent kind of let's not lose the game defense, and we just started giving stuff up, and we started trading baskets there for the last few minutes, and we lost our let's go stop them, and I think it turned into let's not lose this, let's not give up something easy. And once we kind of took our foot off, I thought of our just kind of aggressiveness, we started opening things up, and they scored a lot down the stretch.
I think Air Force had troubles with the two bigs. You put the two bigs down low, and they kind of packed it in. They really took away some of those back doors.
No, and really they had a lot of skips, to an open shooter, and they didn't shoot them, and we were closing, and they had some good, and they did. So our guys, I think our length, bothered them a little bit, and that's part of the thing when we have that kind of size, that hopefully the 3-point shot is a good one for us.
10 turnovers in each half tonight. Not happy with that.
I mean, we had 9 at the 11, we had 9, I think, at almost halfway through the first half.
Yes.
It was not a pretty start. Now, as we're going through them at halftime, you've got, 2 travels on spin baselines, I don't know, a couple of charges. Jaquan's over the back on a rebound. I mean, they weren't your traditional just, not entering the ball and they're scoring at the end. They weren't scoring off of our turnovers. There weren't a lot of points off turnovers, but they were nonetheless just empty possessions, and that's what we talked about at halftime. Hey, we're up 4, but the turnover battle, we're down 2, and the offensive rebounding battle, we're down 2. That's 4 extra possessions that turn a 4-point game to an 8-point game, 4-point game to a 10-point game, and we had to find a way to clean it up, and we didn't. We just happened to make more shots, I think, in the second half, and their defense just opened up, I think, a little bit more for us. And we obviously can't going forward, it's going to be the $1 million question now, ball handling and guards, and can you solve this? So it's something that we can't make a trend going forward.
12 first half, 8 second half in terms of the turnovers.
Yeah.
Let me get that right. So, but the offensive boards, 12-5, and the turnovers, that's where the 17 extra shot attempts
for sure,
they get come
for
from.
sure.
Yeah.
And some of the offensive rebounds, they shoot so many threes,
Yes,
that
long
there are going to
rebounds.
be longer rebounds, and a little bit of that I'll chalk up to that. But at the end of the day, there was still too many. We were, especially in the first half, we had guys leaking out when their shots going up. We just have to have better discipline than that. And I think the first 8 minutes was good for us because I think even our guys at that point realized this team is good, and we can't cut corners, and we can't start to think about other things other than just winning the basketball game.
CB, 25 minutes tonight, again off the bench in his second game back. What about his progress?
Yeah, I think you can still see a little bit of just trying to get the timing back, but better. He's our best defensive rebounder. Vance had done a great job rebounding the ball for us. Tonight just wasn't getting in there and rebounding the way we wanted, so we needed Carlton in there to really help shore that up. And his defensive rebounds and Corey's, I thought, were pivotal for us.
Did you feel overall pretty happy with the way you guarded the three-point line? They ended up shooting 29% for the game, and you did a better job even of it in the second half than in the first.
Yeah, I think you have a general feel during the game. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm smart enough. You see the film, and the film will really, there's so many times here I'm like, man, you weren't guarding him. You watch film, and he's pretty close. Or vice versa, good challenge. I'm like, well, no, that wasn't a great challenge. So I think overall, based on the numbers and based on their shooting proficiency, we did some good things.
Yeah.
I think we did some good things overall. If I can think of the 28, I'm going to ballpark and say 4 or 5 we lost a guy unguarded, wide open. But I thought at least 20 of them would have been pretty good challenge, guys leaving their feet, hand in your face shots, and we'll take those.
Yeah, there were a couple of threes where Tomes hit one with a defender. I think McQuatch was in his face.
Yeah.
So they were challenged
I
threes.
thought so, for the most part, yeah.
All right, I'm going to surprise you with a fan question
Uh-oh.
that I'm getting pretty consistently now, and there's some pretty exciting dates coming up on the schedule here, and we've seen you in the cherry sweater forever.
Yeah.
Now, that blazer that you got when you got
man.
hired sitting in the closet still.
Is
it coming out one of these times here down the road?
To be totally transparent, it's not my blazer. It was somebody's that they gave to me that day,
Well,
and
you
then
better
I
get it
gave it.
tailored.
I don't know who has it. It's not sitting in my closet.
You're going to have 3 in
Yeah.
your office on Monday, guaranteed. You just opened up
I don't know.
big can. There,
I don't know. I don't have one.
Well, there'll be some there. They're in the dry cleaners right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
The fans look at the schedule and see home against San Diego State the 29th, and then Nevada comes the 18th.
Rob, you're killing me, man.
Yeah.
My number one priority right now is Colorado State. That's all we're going to think about right
This
now.
is a tough road trip coming up.
I think it's a great one for us. I think it's coming at a really good time. School's not in session yet. We're going to go out for 2 games. We're going to be 4 or 5 days together. A lot of film, a lot of learning, a lot of growing. We just got one guy back. We had Vontae at semester. We've got. I think I'm really excited about just getting away with these guys for a few days and hopefully just like growing and getting to know each other better, basketball wise, film wise. The road is great because you're together 24/7. You can have a kid at the front of the bus and watch film for a while. You can have them to your room. You can sit at lunch. When you're home, everyone's got stuff going on. Everyone's got things going on during the day. They got this meeting or that appointment, whatever. But the road's fun. So I'm really looking forward to going out for 5-6 straight days together and just kind of continuing to get to know each other.
Seems like excuse me.
Go ahead,
The
please.
chemistry, just as a fan sitting here watching, it seems like the guys are really coming together and understanding their roles. And
I just said at the meeting, for me to, for Jaquan to foul out and you're coming into your last 2 timeouts and he's the loudest guy in the timeout and he's telling guys you go here and you go there and he's cheering and he's coaching. You can't ask for much more leadership than that. And when someone like that is demonstrating it, it's obviously huge for the other guys to see that and think, you know what, it's bigger than me. We got to come together as a team.
It's like it's fun to watch your teammate excel.
Yes,
right.
agreed.
And celebrate
and that's
those.
growth, man.
Yeah,
That takes maturity.
Yes,
that takes
it
takes a very strong person to start to feel that way about somebody else. And these guys have always been that way off the court. If we go to dinner, if we're in the film room, if you guys have been on the bus. They're having a blast together. They really enjoy each other. Our issue has been on the court as teammates. Can they still share that same camaraderie when Hunter has a big night and I don't? And tonight I think was growth in in that regard. As far as, you know what, let's be good teammates no matter who's having a big
That's
night.
all coaching, though, right?
Yeah, I wish.
100% though. We saw it when Jaquan came over to check in, shoulders slumped and stress and anxiety over dealing with forced fouls, and there were moments earlier in the season you could see him hang his head a little and his shoulders slump. He was like, okay, let's see if I can hang in there and not foul out there.
Yeah,
he had a really good attitude about the whole
It's
thing.
been terrific, man. Even, we've been in a lot of games, and we make a lot of free throws down the stretch. I don't know, we just do, and there's just a belief in these guys that unfortunately last year we just didn't have. I mean, it was going to be 0 for 2, bucket at the other end, lost the game. That was Utah State.
Right.
Missed it, bucket, lost. But this year's team has just found a way in those moments to just make plays, and that's a mindset. That's I'm going to go win, or I feel like I can do something good, as opposed to, I hope I don't screw up, or like, oh man, what happens if we miss? It's just it's a great mindset, and Jaquan has a lot to do with that. He's a confident alpha player, and he makes the rest of the guys feel as though they're good too, and I'm just glad they feel the same way.
Congratulations, Coach Weir.
Thanks,
We're looking
man.
forward to getting out on the road with you.
Take care.
Fort Collins.
Lobo head coach Paul Weir, New Mexico knocks off Air Force 84-78. Okay, it's time for Toyota Drive of the Game. There were so many here tonight. We think you're going to love it. Toyota, let's go places. Deep right wing three for Jaquan Lyle is long. Great rebound from Malowitz. Finds Martin. Martin driving. Had it stripped. Lyle got it. Lyle to the rim. He dunks! And a chance for an end one! Jaquan Lyle explodes to the rim! And Jaquan Lyle surprises everybody in the building off the Achilles with a really explosive rise, and then rim rocker.
Yeah, I mean, even like you said, the bench jumps off, and I'm over here cracking up because I'm thinking this guy just came off Achilles surgery, and we haven't seen a dunk out of him. Well, I think he did it early in the year,
and it was a really soft one.
It was. I don't know if that was a real dunk.
I agree.
But I mean, that was a real dunk, and it was fun to see his teammates happy for him.
Your Toyota Drive of the Game. Toyota, let's go places. Okay, big thank you to Mike Vitale, our broadcast producer and engineer, on-site engineer Michael Carlisle. Remember, the Lobos travel. The next game will be January 15th. They get on the road. They play at Colorado State. We'll have it for you here live with a 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time broadcast start with a pregame show, 7 p.m. tip at Moby in Fort Collins, and then 3 days after that at UNLV. An improving, rising UNLV Rebel team will host the Lobos on Jan 18 next weekend. That's a 4 p.m. Mountain Time tip, airtime 3:30. Partner, this is getting fun.
Yeah.
12 in a row at home. New Mexico with another W, 15-3 and 4-1 in league, and they were tied for second in the Mountain West coming into today. They will remain at least tied for second at the end of today's play, and there's only one that stands in front of them, San Diego State. There is a lot that could be accomplished this season.
Oh yeah, no question. And I think there are going to be some teams that are going to be upset in this conference. They're going to upset teams. We're going to upset. It's fun. This is the fun part of the year.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to the trip with you next week.
All right, man. Thanks, Rob.
400 Green. I'm Robert Porney. That'll do it for us for tonight. Your final score for the final time. The streaking Lobos have now won 10 of their last 11 games and 12 in a row at home to start their home schedule this year. The 15-3 and 4-1 Lobos defeat Air Force. Final score for the final time. The Lobos 84, Air Force 78. So long, everybody. You're listening to Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.